While the health sector is continuing with the search for a coronavirus vaccine, scientists at the University of KwaZulu-Natal have launched a fundraising campaign to support the analysis of COVID-19 data in real time. But to discuss this further, we're joined now via Skype by Professor Tulio de Oliveira, the director of the KwaZulu-Natal Research and Innovation Sequencing Platform. Prof, thank you so much for your time and welcome to eNCA. And just take me through, please, this fundraising campaign that you are embarking on.
Good day for you and for listeners. So basic what we have done at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, we have taken very serious the coronavirus pandemic, and we start preparing for that 3 months ago when we launched the coronavirus war room at the university. And as part of that, we identify a lot of the top scientists in the university, and we came together to form a consortium to analyze data in real time. And these analyses have been very powerful because a lot of our results have been used by the health minister and also the chief scientific officer to show the country how we have been flattening the line of the epidemic. And so what we have done, we have put a consortium of over 20 mathematicians, bioinformaticians, statisticians, to keep analyzing data non-stop, to be able to inform both the public, but also quite important, the government, on the effect of the interventions.
Yeah, it's interesting, Prof, if I can just come in there, just so that I don't lose my train of thought, that you mentioned that, this team of experts that you have assembled have come together so that you can try and continue efforts in flattening the curve. But it's not just that, right? It's also redirecting or retracing as to where exactly this virus comes from and how exactly it was, sort of launched into South Africa. We know that it was, of course, started in Chinese city, Wuhan, but you're trying to also retrace its steps as to where it first started in South Africa.
Yes, exactly. So one of the things that we do at KRISP facility. So what we have been doing in collaboration with the NICD and the NHLS, it is to sequence the main strains of coronavirus that enter in the country. So what we have found is that coronavirus have been introduced multiple times to South Africa, especially from Europe, but also introductions from Australia and Canada. And it's not surprising because that's where a lot of South Africans both have family and they tend to go back and forward, or people that come on holiday to here. So it's important to know how the virus arrived in the country, but more important is to know what's the level of community transmission. And that's where DNA sequencing and this big consortium is very important, because then as localized outbreaks happen, we can sequence the DNA of the virus to try to understand, not only the introductions, but how much of them is spreading on the population.
Yeah. Prof, I want to also talk about, your efforts in also reaching out to South Africans who are global experts. I understand that you're trying to attract them back into the country and utilize their skills, but also not just, South Africans. I'm looking at top international researchers here who left Oxford, who left Cambridge, London School of Hygiene, as well as the tropical medicine and Harvard, just to name a few. So this is more of, you assembling all your resources globally to trying to flatten this curve and, of course, using those resources within the country.
Yes, of course. You don't do that overnight. That started around 3 years ago. So what we did, we invest massive amount of funding on getting some of the best laboratories in the continent and some of the best laboratories in the world. And then what we did is to attract people back to South Africa. A lot of them are South Africans that have been for 5 or 10 or 20 years outside the country, and that they saw a way to come back to help the country with high-level scientific research. So you may not be aware, but where we are at the Nelson Mandela School of Medicine, we are in a building that's 7 floors that contain both KRISP and the Welcome to a Center area, and we have 300 full-time researchers that some of the big expertise is virus outbreaks and also bacteria like tuberculosis, that's a bacteria that infects the lungs. So it has been a very powerful consortium that what we can put is a lot of experts together now to stop the research on HIV and TB and to focus all the efforts to try to help to control the coronavirus outbreak in South Africa.
Well, you know what, Prof, we've heard from the World Health Organization just commending the efforts being made by South Africa, and we can only pass those as well to you as well as your team as you continue to, of course, find a solution to this pandemic. Thank you so much. That's Professor Tulio de Oliveira, the director of the KwaZulu-Natal Research and Innovation Sequencing Platform.